What's up, guys? This is Van from Canadian Ophidiophile, coming to you from YouTube. We're just trying a new platform here because of this idea I've had for a while to do some more insightful how-to videos. Maybe not necessarily a how-to, it's more like kind of a, this is just how I do it. So how I do videos. Just kind of have a string of videos to be more comprehensive over certain subjects with our hobby. So to start off with it, I've always wanted to do one on reptile shipping. Every winter we have in Canada here, our lovely country, especially those of us in the prairies or maybe the Maritimes and people by the Great Lakes, we know our weather is amazing in the winter. So there's always a lot of issues people have because of that, and what I can say at this point, I'm just going to stop going on about what I want to do here. At that point, it really comes down to what your priorities are. Now, when I'm going to ship an animal to somebody, I want them to have the animal just the way I had it, in the same shape, color, form, and everything. So when I send an animal and it arrives not moving, that's kind of not the game plan here. So always, whenever in doubt about anything to do with reptiles, please always put the priority on animals' welfare. Okay, now going back to what I like to do with the video. So we're going to focus on reptile shipping. I'm going to talk to you guys about different methods of shipping, different carriers, the legalities of some of that stuff, the supplies you might need. I'll touch on as many orders of reptiles as I can, reptiles and amphibians, but obviously the emphasis is going to be on snakes because of it being Canadian Ophidiophile, and that's pretty much what I have here. So I can't whip out a axolotl for you, but yeah. So anyways, without further ado, let's go on, and I know we'll try to, it's going to be a short of a video as much as I can. I'll try to cover as much as I can in a short time, so hope you guys bear with me, and let's see what we can do. Wait, let's see what we can do. I gotta get better at this. Okay, so let's look at a couple carriers I use. One being Air Canada Cargo that ships live reptiles across Canada. Always double check with the live animal cargo section of Air Canada to make sure that where you're shipping to and from actually does allow live reptile shipping, because sometimes there's satellite airports that actually don't have the right screening process or heated cargo and whatnot. So always double check before shipping to anywhere, especially somewhere new and stuff. So this is an example of Air Canada box that has some of the labels on it, the screening process and a live animal sticker and whatnot, and your waybill and stuff. And there are these labels on the side here and showing you these as examples, because these are labels that you're going to have to create and stick on there, because you do need to show them that you're shipping a live, harmless, non-venomous reptile. That's Air Canada basically for you. My other shipper is my favorite guy, is our good friends at Reptile Express. Now, Sam has pretty much streamlined the process for a lot of us, and it's taken a lot of the work and inconvenience that you would have to do to go through to make sure you're doing it right. He's figured it out and saying, here you go, here's a box that does everything for you. He sends it with a styrofoam insulation, some of it's flat packed. It sends you the stickers that you get to put on your box and stuff. He will email you the waybill. You just have to have a printer to print it out, slap it on the box, arrange your time, be there when the driver shows up to pick it up, or go and drop it off if that's what you're doing, and bingo. Sam tracks weather for you. You also should be tracking weather yourself, but it's an all-included package deal that is reasonable, and for regular guys who are just kind of not doing really massive shipments and stuff like that, like just, guys like me, like a little box like this going out somewhere, what I mean? Like it takes all the hassle out of it. So go check them out too. If it's your first time, I actually recommend, unless your buyer insists on Air Canada, to just give Sam a shout. Just message them. I will put a little bit of information at the bottom there for you guys to go check them out if you haven't already. So anyways, I will move on now to actually how to pack the animal in the box. We will pick one of these fine subjects in this room to use as an example. So anyways, on to that. I'm gonna do a quick show here. I'm gonna do this one-handed while holding the phone in my hand. This is my little makeshift work table I've set up here right away for this purpose. So we have our standard Reptile Express kit that you would probably get if you order through Reptile Express, or for those of you who are making your own boxes, make sure it's an actual approved shipping box, not just a box that your TV came in, something like that. Make sure it's well insulated. They always use at least 3/4 inch styrofoam insulation on all 6 sides of the box on the inside. So always make sure you have that. Always make sure you have labels. Now with Reptile Express, like I said, they make it easy. They have these stickers for you can slap on your box to make it legit for FedEx shipping. So, and I'm just going to show you the other side here. So now the other thing I use is lots of newspaper. I save all my flyers. And it helps to kind of bolster and fill all the empty spaces to make it a little bit more snug and secure for your little buddy or your bigger buddy, depending on the shipping. So he's not bouncing around in there. So that's the basics of the box itself. Now, I want to focus a little bit now on the little micro habitat that you're going to set up for your buddy. I'm using a deli cup that I buy in bulk. It doesn't come with pre-drilled holes, so I have to do it myself. Now, for all intents and purposes, let's just say that it's done. Okay, we got one hole in there. No, please do always ensure that you have enough ventilation. Do not do that. I am struggling with just one hand right now, so we're doing that. Just to give you guys an idea, but always make sure you have air holes in your container. Now, when you're shipping with Reptiles Express, Sam will provide what he believes to be the adequate container for your animal. Sometimes mistakes might happen. They might not be big enough. Maybe you didn't weigh your animal and it's, estimated it to be a lot smaller than it was and it can't fit in the box that it gives it to you. So in that event, you're kind of on your own to try to provide yourself with something that you can use. So, a little bit about that container. Now, deli cups are used, snake bags are used, for also shipping lizards and snakes. Deli containers, it come in all sizes. You can get them in whatever size animals you can. Sandwich containers, they work just as great. Make sure it's secure. I always use a little bit of tape and tape around it to make sure for whatever reason that lid doesn't pop off. Now, this is gonna get tricky again. I will go grab one of my snakes and we will go take a look and see. Ooh, where are we going? Let's see if she will cooperate. I have picked my female. Come here, little sweetie. There you go. This is one of my young Grease King, California King snakes, a locale that I am looking forward to working with. So she is going to try to cooperate with me while I put her in there. I'm going to set the phone down. And she's in her container. And again, just check with the ventilation. Make sure you have your air holes. I've got that one token one for now just because. But because she's not going to be staying there very long. But I've also got dry aspen as a substrate for her. I've chosen dry aspen because I want her to stay relatively dry and comfortable. She's not a species that tolerates high humidity. And cheddar aspen also gives them a little bit more cushioning during travel, and they can burrow in there, they can nestle in there a little bit. It just makes them feel just a little more secure and comfy. Always do think about it when you're packaging other animals, like say frogs or turtles, for example. I've also used damp or slightly moist peat moss, or a sphagnum moss even. So, play with substrates and find out about, different things that you could probably use for the shipping process. You don't necessarily always have to use what you're using in your container where you keep them at home. So, anyway, so that's her in there. And the next step is your heat pack. Now, because we're in Canada, we'll be 3/4 of the year we'll be using to a certain degree heat packs for shipping, because we do want to keep them at least at room temperature, not slightly elevated from room temperature, depending on the species. Always be sure you know what temperatures your species can tolerate before actually just throwing heat packs in there. Some species actually don't like it too warm. Some prefer being at room temperature the whole time. Heat will actually stress them out even more, so be aware of those factors. Some animals actually prefer more heat, and depending on the size of the box and the distance and the time of year and the shipment, you will need to figure out how many heat packs you're going to use. Generally, a small box like this, you don't really want to use too much more than one. But always talk it over with who you're shipping with, and if you're never not sure, always err on the side of caution. Heat is necessary, but remember, heat can also kill them faster than cold can. So do keep those factors in mind. You want to take it out? I'm not going to take this out of its wrapper, or you know what, whatever. Let's just do it. There you have it. That's your heat pack out of the packaging. Strip it out. It has a backing. This one has a backing on it. It's a adhesive backing that you can just stick onto the side of your box or onto the lid that you're gonna put in there. Always double check though, because sometimes the other side actually has a red line. Now that will actually be your active side. Then the ones with the red line is the side that you don't want to block off when you're putting it in there. So always double check and see how your heat pack is set up. If there is no adhesive on one side and there's a red line on the other, make sure the red line stays out. Sometimes actually reading this helps a little bit too. So anyways, you want to stick that in the box wherever, you know, preferably not right close to the same end of your animal. You know, giving them a chance to thermoregulate, it's a great idea too. So sometimes if you have, depending on the size of the container, if you have them back there with some people in between, then they can get to this end if they want to be cooler and closer to the heat pack if they need to. So it all depends on the size of containers and the box you're using. So be aware, sometimes you might use one or two. Placement is always very important. Sometimes putting them on the lid, taping it to the lid and sticking out to the top of it also helps to radiate some of that heat. Unfortunately, of course, because of the laws of thermodynamics, heat doesn't travel downwards. So with tall boxes, you want to make sure you have heat packs on the side, right, the same level where animals can actually get it. So anyways, that's about it. So basically you kind of finish up packing it and make it all secure. I have one hand. I'm gonna just cheat and pretend I have way more paper in there. Pack it up in there, put your heat pack in there, situate it wherever you're supposed to, and put the lid on, wrap her up, print out your shipping label, and there you have it. You're off to drop off your animal at a local hub or have it picked up by a driver. So there you have it. Kind of a quick, brief, although I mean, I can keep talking about all the little facets to look out for and stuff like that, but a lot of it actually comes from, you know, actually doing it yourself. So you will learn things along the way as you go along, but keep in mind, again, about the animal's welfare, how the animal is packed in the cup or the container itself, not necessarily in the box, but just the habitat you're creating for it, to the type of substrate you're using, level of humidity. Sometimes in the winter you don't want humidity because that will actually freeze, and freezing causes more problems if something goes wrong. So there's a lot of facets and a lot of trial and error also with some, depending on what species you're doing. I mean, first time dragon snakes were shipped, I'm pretty sure they weren't sure and they were super nervous on that shipment, right? So, but always double check. Google will be your best friend. And if you got any questions for me, even just comment down below. And we will hopefully see you on the next possible episode of this. From me and my lovely assistant, thanks you guys for watching. Oh, who's a good snake going to tub all by yourself? Good snake. Oh, great. Hey.